You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, March the 25th of 2025. The time is 9:07. Good looking start here in downtown Wausau at our WXCO studios at the corner of Washington Street and North 3rd Street. Plenty of blue skies, plenty of sunshine, a bit of a chilly start. Temperature of 21 degrees, and we're still talking wind chills. Wind chill factor of 12 degrees above zero, but still could be worse. We saw it 2 days ago. It could be worse, but hopefully your day is off to a terrific start. Again, the time is 9:07. I am Chad Holmes. It is hour number 2 of the Chad Holmes Show. 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices, and Alexa by searching WXCO and on the Civic Media app. And again, you can also join us on YouTube, youtube.com, and the YouTube channel, 98.9 WXCO channel on YouTube. And we would love to hear from you. You can make comments there, but you can also call us or text us at 715-382-9297. That's 715-382-9297. We'd love to hear your thoughts, your comments, and your voice here on this program. Coming up a little bit later on in this hour, we will be talking again, sustainability and a whole bunch more, as coming up at 9:34 this morning. We'll be talking to Carol Lukens and Jean Abreu of the Wausau Sustainability and Energy Committee. We'll talk about what they are up to coming up a little bit later on in this hour. And that'll be at 9:34. Also need to say good morning, as we do each and every top of the hour, to our in-studio engineer, our in-studio producer, Ian Welsh. Ian, good morning.
Good morning, Chad.
Are you thinking about the topic for our number for the day quiz?
Yep, road maintenance.
Thinking about what number it could be, right?
Boy.
Road maintenance, I think it'll be a big number.
Yep.
So
definitely going to be an interesting number for sure.
So we'll talk about that coming up at the
that comes later.
end of the hour, as we do as part of our daily history lesson to wrap things up here on the program each and every weekday. But every other Tuesday at this time, we are always very happy to welcome back to the program from the Marathon County Public Library, Robyn Vargas. Robyn, good to see you again.
Good morning. Good to see you as well.
I tell you, I said, how are you doing? He said, it's spring break time, so that means a lot of kids are hanging out, aren't they?
Yes, absolutely. It has been busy. And I say that it's the beginning of Tuesday. So Monday was very busy, but it was good. Yeah, good busy.
Was it an expectation that it would be busy? I imagine
yes.
that you were all ready for it, I imagine, right?
Correct. Yep. Certain times like this, spring break, if there's a long fall break, winter break, obviously we know that there will be a lot more families coming into the library. So,
any special programs this week because of that?
Yeah, for sure. In Wausau, we have something going on pretty much every day this week. So starting yesterday and going through tomorrow, Wednesday, you can drop in anytime. We have Sticker Palooza happening for kids. So we've just got a whole ton of stickers that we set out, and then we have supplies where they can either make bookmarks or some mini sticker books and just let their creativity go loose. And we have just an abundance of stickers. If you think about like all the like Paw Patrol, all those favorite character books that come with like 200 stickers at the back of the book. We take all those out before we get our books ready for circulation. And so we just have this stockpile of stickers. And so, we're excited to let the kids have at it and help us clear some of those out. So that's happening all day today and tomorrow. Stop on in. It's just in our children's area of the library.
Let me ask you real fast.
Yeah.
What is it about stickers?
I'm
somebody that's old, so it's like, I don't know. I mean, what is it about the stickers that kind or is it just? Or
I think just a reward. I don't know. But it is definitely a thing. They love stickers.
Actually.
They'll do a lot for a single sticker.
That actually is interesting. Rewards, because in following some football as my broadcasting, there are some teams that when they have a player that does a good thing, they'll have a sticker they can put on their helmet.
See,
there you
it
go.
works for all ages.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, but no rewards necessary for this. They can just come on in and have at it.
What else is happening this week?
Yeah, so we also have a couple movies showing here at Wausau. So we have our Year of Ghibli. So on Wednesday, we are showing The Tale of the Princess Kaguya. That is at 5:30 at our Wausau location in our community room. And then on Friday, the 28th, we're showing The Wild Robot. That's based off of a children's novel. It's a pretty recent 2024 movie, so kids can stop on in. That one's at 2 p.m. on Friday. And then we also have two more Studio Ghibli showings on Saturday. We have Castle in the Sky on Saturday at 10:30, and then Porco Rosso on Saturday at 1:30. So
I imagine that
lots of movies.
When you're looking at movies, I mean, obviously it's probably not a hard and fast rule, but I imagine that when they do have a connection with a book, that it's probably one that you'd like to, to keep an eye on.
We like to show those, make those connections, and hope that they might check out the book as well.
Exactly. So you gotta take that next step ahead, right?
Yes, for sure. Yeah, so those are some of our movies. And then we also have some video games happening at our Wausau location on Thursday. So for kids in the morning from 9 a.m. to noon, we're playing Mario Kart. I'm very excited because I get to help run that one.
Oh, geez.
And so I'm hoping, maybe like 9 a.m., only 2 kids show up and they need someone to race against them. So my skills will come in handy. So that'll be Thursday.
But don't celebrate too much if you win.
I know. I think I might have to hold back a little. Let them hit me with some items.
No, you gotta win, but just do it in a classy way.
Okay. We'll see.
Continue.
And then for teens on Thursday afternoon from 2 to 5, they can come on in and play Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on the Nintendo Switch. So some friendly competition there. So we've got crafts, we've got video games, we've got movies. That's all happening at Wausau. Out at the branches, you can also, at Mosinee, they are continuing to have their crafts and coloring extravaganza. That's been happening all month. So anytime this week that the branch is open, you can stop on in for some crafts. They also have some escape room activities this week. So today, Wednesday, and Thursday, just at different times, you'd have to call the branch to know what times they have left that are available and then to register, but different escape room adventures. So if you're into puzzles and mysteries and all that, see if you can break out of the library.
Fantastic. I know that Ian loves those escape rooms. In fact, he went to one out of town on the weekend. So,
wow.
Yes, I did.
So it's like, I think that, again, it's like, at my point of life, some of these things I found, and he tells me about them. It's like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And I mean, imagine that this keeps you so much, keeps your hand on the pulse of what's going on with the kids.
Yes.
And that must be very exciting.
Absolutely. But that actually, I'm glad you mentioned Ian going to one and that I was looking ahead a little. We have one coming up at Wausau too this Saturday. It slipped my mind for just a second.
I think Ian ought to put that down on your calendar to think about being involved in that.
I think there's still a couple openings.
There you go.
So you can register for that one on our website, mcpl.us. You can find it in the events, and then there's just a really quick Google form to fill out to let us know if you're coming for that one. But that is this Saturday at Wausau. Mystery in the Stacks. We did offer this one in November, but this is so a similar concept, murder mystery type thing, but a different story. So if you came to the one in November, this one is a different story. So come on back and do it again.
Very cool indeed. Any of the other branches have anything interesting coming up?
Yeah, Rothschild has a jigsaw puzzle competition. A couple branches have started doing these, I think maybe December or January, and they've been really popular. We've had a great attendance and people have just had a lot of fun getting a small team together, 2 to 4 people, and racing to build a puzzle.
How big are how many pieces?
So this one in Rothschild on Wednesday is 500 pieces. So they do range. I think Stratford had one that was 300 pieces as well as a 500. So
that's very cool.
Kind of going back and forth. But yeah, that one, if teens or adults are interested, that is 4:30 this Wednesday, the 26th at Rothschild. You want to call them to register and make sure that they have a spot left for you.
So many of the activities, whether it's just reading or something like that, it's just great to keep that mind sharp.
Yeah,
I think that's fun. That's really cool indeed.
And speaking of learning a little bit,
it's always fun to learn as well.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
all fun, right?
At Rothschild next week on April 3rd, they are having a presentation about the Marathon County Public Library Bookmobile. Oh. So that started in 1949. Ran for 50 years or so. It's not in operation anymore, but if you want to learn about the bookmobile's beginnings and, where it...
I remember the bookmobile
back
when I was younger. I've been around this area for a long time, and I remember that bookmobile.
Nice. Yeah, I've just seen pictures, but it's a cool concept.
Is the bookmobile actually around, or is it gone completely?
I think it's gone. Yeah, I'll have to check and ask our reference librarian this afternoon because now I'm curious.
I know they did Hoff in a garage somewhere.
Correct. Yeah, that very well could be. I don't know.
We got a little under 2 minutes to go. Anything else we should make sure to hit on before we wrap things up?
Yeah, those are really the big ones. We do have one more in Wausau on April 5th for folks if they're interested in learning about spreadsheets. If you need to get started in Excel, it is a very basic beginner's class. But if you need to start somewhere, a family member who does, come on into Wausau. That one's on April 5th at 2 p.m. And we just ask that you register either by giving us a call or on our website as well for that one.
And that's the thing. We've gone through so many different little items here.
Yes.
Go back to the website.
Yeah, it has it all.
It can take a little more time as we go through it rather quickly. Mm-hmm. But again, mcpl.us. And so much of the information is also on your Facebook page, and you can follow along there as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Fantastic. Robyn Vargas, Marathon County Public Library. Again, get back over there. I'm sure it's active right away this morning.
It is, yes.
But thanks again for popping on over, and we'll catch you in 2 weeks.
Thank you so much.
The time is 9:18. Coming up, we'll be back again a little bit later on in this hour. We will be talking to Carol Lukens and also Jean Abreu. As again, every month we are having a new feature talking about the Wausau Sustainability, Energy, and Environment Committee. So we'll talk to them coming up in just a little bit. Along with Ian Welsh, I'm Chad Holmes. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO.
You're listening to Civic Media. Stay up to date on the latest news and information for your local community and Wisconsin by signing up for our free email newsletter. Visit civicmedia.us/email to get started.
Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. Coming up in just a few minutes, we'll be talking to Jean Abreu and Carol Lukens, members of the City of Wausau Sustainability, Energy, and the Environment Committee. Tomorrow, in the first hour, we'll be joined in studio by Bob Look. He'll be joining me to bouncing around some of the news and sports stories of the week. Of course, we'll have as well our meteorologist, Brittany Merlot, with us at 8:21. And I think Sean Wright will be back. He was off in Florida 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So we had a substitute guest from the Grand Theater, but I think Sean may be back. I want to hear if he had some fun at spring training. I know he was going to see some baseball down there, but scheduled to have Sean Wright with us early in the second hour as well tomorrow. So
Probably
that's
nicer down in Florida for him than it was for me and my dad.
yeah, you remember that. Yeah, you ended up going, I think, probably the coldest week they had during the last few
If
months.
we had waited 1 week later, or than when we went, it probably would have been the perfect weather. But you gotta do what you gotta do, and you can't always win them all.
You always have that glass half full attitude over there. I tell you, that's a good thing to have.
Well, some people think I'm a silly because of it, but honestly, somebody has to be the optimist.
Yep, you're exactly right. So,
There's a lot of negativity, and
well, I mean,
if people choose to be optimistic, I don't see why we should stop them.
there you go. I think that's a good way of putting it, because it's so easy to get knocked down, and it makes it harder to get back up. And if you have that half glass full attitude, it makes it a lot easier to maybe to keep on your feet and not to get knocked down as hard as you otherwise might. By the way, when do you start your rehearsals for your new show?
Well, right now we're on a little bit of a break in between the auditions and rehearsals themselves, because our director, Brenton Knies, he's currently directing the Central Wisconsin Children Theater's spring show, The Enchanted Bookshop, a musical, which actually will take place on April 11th, 12th, and 13th. And then as soon as those shows are over, he jumps right into Anastasia rehearsals, because as soon as the final show for that is over, the next day after that is when we start the Anastasia rehearsals. So he's a busy guy. I mean, first he's doing children's theater, and then he goes to Wausau Community Theater, but he can do it. He has the experience, he has the professionalism, and he's probably going to have to, I can't imagine how many coffees he's had to drink already, but hopefully he's taking care of himself and staying awake for the most part, but it's a lot of pressure, I can imagine.
In fact, we'll have Brenton Knies with us on Monday, April the 7th. He'll be joining us along with 3 of the cast members with the Enchanted Bookshop.
Fantastic.
So we'll have some of the young people involved in the Central Wisconsin Children's Theater's Enchanted Bookshop musical. And,
I'm looking forward to that.
Again, so they'll join us on Monday, April the 7th. In fact, next Monday, March the 31st, we will have some cast members from Wausau West High School in their production that's coming up next week of All My Sons, the great Arthur Miller show. So we'll talk about that coming up on Monday. So a lot of good stuff going on in the theater here as we get into the spring. And especially it's great to be able to talk to the young people who are starting to get their experiences and their love of the stage and the theater. And so we'll look forward to those the next couple of Mondays.
Very nice.
And then, of course, as we get towards the summer, then we'll bring in some folks from your show. So, and that'll be a fun process, I'm sure, as well. What are you up to again? You're up in the 70s in terms of shows?
Let's see. Once I start the Anastasia rehearsals, I'll be working on my 74th show.
Fantastic. That is
so
a
I'm
lot.
Almost to 75.
Man,
so
we're going to count down to 100 here. See how long it takes to get to 100.
Like when I get to 100, I should have a big celebration.
You should. I think you definitely should.
Man.
Hey, just want to remind folks that if you want to have a celebration, you could be a winner in the Break into Spring statewide Text to Win contest. It's going on this week and next week. Make sure you tune in at 7 a.m. with Pat Kreitlow, 11 a.m. with Jane Martinaire, 1 p.m. with Todd Alba, and 4 p.m. with Dom Salvia between now and Friday, April 4th for your chance to listen for a keyword at the start of each of those hours, and then enter for your chance to be an hourly winner. And then with that entry, you'll also be part of the final drawing for the grand prize. So 7 a.m. right at the start of the hour, Pat Kreitlow will give you the keyword, and then all you have to do is open up your Civic Media app, open up the WXCO part of the app, hit the text button and just send in that keyword. One word. That's it. One word. You're in. And then at the end of the hour, they will draw a winner. And it could be a Chula Vista giveaway. It could be Milwaukee Brewers club level tickets, or even $100 cash. And we do that every day 4 different times. So 4 different times to win one of those great prizes. Exactly right. And then every entry, so if you enter every one of these hours, that's more entries for you to be part of the final drawing, which is a brand new queen-size mattress set from Verlo Mattress. So great grand prize. And it goes on 4 times a day, so that's 20 times a week and 40 times total for your chance to win either the hourly prize or then perhaps win that grand prize as well. So again,
a lot of entries.
Yeah, we started it off, so we've had 5 different chances already. Pat had the first one for today. Still 3 more times to win here today. 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 4 p.m. So listen all day long. Keep it right here. Don't flip your dial. Keep that app on. Do whatever you have to do to make sure you're tuned in and then win. Break into spring.
Yes.
Text to win statewide contest. Coming up, it is an information update. We'll get you the latest news, weather, and sports. Keep you up to speed at the top and bottom of every hour. And then after that, it'll be Gene Abreu and Carol Lukens from the City of Wausau Sustainability, Energy, and Environmental Committee. So that's coming up. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO. Welcome back. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. The time is 9:36. Again, you can join us. Call or text 715-382-9297. That's 715-382-9297. And every month, we are getting an opportunity to talk to folks involved in the City of Wausau Sustainability, Energy, and the Environment Committee. And today, we get a chance to get a second visit with Gene Abreu and also get a first visit with Carol Lukens. And ladies, thank you for both coming in. And we have you both get closer to those microphones here. Make sure everybody is able to hear. And I know that we've had a couple of visits involving this committee already, but just for folks who may not be as familiar, and that's one of the reasons we're doing this, is we want to get people to, an understanding of this committee and what it's doing. Number one, could you maybe give that background again on what the Sustainability, Energy, and Environment Committee is all about? And I love the fact you're both pointing at each other to talk about this. But just give a little bit of the background on what it is and what you do.
Well, the Sustainability Committee is interested in trying to move forward awareness and education in our community about how to handle things in your yard, what to do with composting, how to protect the environment and ourselves. And so one of the things we thought would be beneficial would be to come on the radio and just talk about a variety of different topics that we're interested in. We have an article every month or every Wausau City newsletter. There are 4 of them throughout the year. And so we're just trying to promote like seasonal information about what we as homeowners can be doing to make our world a better place.
If I can just jump in.
Absolutely.
Also, we had the resolution that was signed by the City Council to try to incorporate other practices or sustainable practices into city operations. So looking at energy as well as the environment and sustainability all around.
And the thing about Abreu, before we go into our main topic today, and when you say something like that, there can be small steps too.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're pushing in the right direction. And obviously there's disagreement on probably how far you want to go, but I would think it would be pretty bipartisan that the idea of having sustainability practices, at least at a certain level, would be something that we could agree on in this era where it's so very difficult to agree, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. And, that should be all around. It's saving energy, which saves money. So that's huge. That's huge for the city, especially, in our economic environment right now, too.
And we've seen that real fast. I mean, when obviously Christine Daniels is the one that kind of got me together with you ladies and with the committee. And she's talked about over at Good News Project in terms of what they've been able to do. It's not just good for the environment, but she has said it's great for the bottom line. And I think that's something that needs to be underlined as well, especially with, as we know, with limited resources in government these days. But let's get to the reason that the topic for today's discussion. You mentioned it's you see all that snow still on the ground, but it's gonna go away, and we're gonna get into the month of April, into spring, and then all of a sudden insects and pollinators will start to pop up. And here today, we want to talk a little bit about the impact that insects have as we prepare for spring yard and garden cleanup. I guess to start off, what is the concern with insects and pollinator populations?
Well, the big concern is that populations have been declining both locally and globally. Some places are reporting anywhere from 40 to 75% decline in the last 40 years. And it's showing up in the populations then of animals that depend on the insects. Bees and other pollinators touch our lives every day, and we may not realize that. About 1 in 3 bites of our food has been created by pollinating insects. So economically, insect pollinators contribute billions of dollars to the U.S. farm economy. Bird species have been declining over the last 40 years. Several factors are involved in that, but there's a dramatic decrease in the insects, and that plays a major role because they're an important food source for our birds.
Those numbers are rather amazing when you talk about
they're
40
alarming.
Yeah, I mean, that's another good word to put, 40 to 75%. And you said it, 1 out of 3 bites of our food?
Yes.
I mean, why is this happening? What is causing this decline?
Well, so there are a few main reasons: habitat loss, us cleaning up us residents, cleaning up our yards too soon and cleaning up too much, even though, we all like nice, tidy yards. And then another one, and one that's really important to me, is pesticide use, because the amount of insects that have declined is just, it's astronomical, and it is really alarming to me. So these are all really human actions, and the encouraging thing about that is that we can do a lot to help turn this around.
Again, we're talking to Jean Abreu and Carol Lukens, members of the City of Wausau Sustainability, Energy, and the Environment Committee here on 98.9 WXCO. Real quickly, one of those that kind of jumped out in that listing of the cause of the decline, poorly timed yard and garden cleanup. It sounds like that people could be doing the right thing, but maybe not doing it at the right time or in the right way. Is that
Yes.
is that one way of putting it?
That's it exactly. We have grown up, for decades with the idea that, well, when we're done growing, our growing season is finished, we should cut everything down and clean everything up. And then when spring comes, we should rake, cut everything down and clean everything up. And that is so not helpful to our pollinators who are busy overwintering in our plant stalks, in our leaf litter, just below the surface of the soil. So we need to be thinking more about not just what we are looking at in our garden, but who is there and who is finishing up their overwintering so they can come out, can hatch.
Well, one of the things that I think that, and again, you've been very nice to give some information to me here about these issues, which I'm not as all familiar with as maybe I should be as well. And I imagine that after a long winter, people are just anxious to start to get to work. But that could be something that is not the best way to proceed as well, correct?
Right.
I actually have a suggestion about that really quick.
Sure.
If people want to get out in their yards and dig in their yards, which I love to do, instead of removing everything, which we'll talk about, just dig out by hand your dandelions if you don't want them, or pull out the creeping Charlie or things like that, because you can help in that way.
Right. Or if you absolutely feel driven to do some raking, rake your leaves into a pile somewhere and just leave them, because there are insects overwintering. And if we put them in bags and send them to the landfill or to the compost, city compost, they may not hatch. And so it's just really important to think about the insects.
And also, you should wait until a certain level of temperature, a certain level of springtime arriving, correct?
Correct. So many insects don't emerge until the temperatures reach a consistent 50 degrees. So not just a day or two of it, but consistently. So really, we shouldn't start our garden cleanup until the temperature is reliably in the 50s. So we can think about, would I plant my tomatoes now? If it's time to plant the tomatoes, chances are that conditions are neither too hot nor cold for pollinators to be out and about. And the same thing for, mowing our lawns. If our grass is growing enough to justify regular mowing, then it's probably a safe bet that most pollinators have emerged. So it's really best to wait until May.
It sounds like basically the environment tells you. It's if you just listen to the environment,
Yes.
then it kind of gives you the answers in terms of when you should start doing some of this stuff. What else should we be thinking about, again, when it comes to, for especially the homeowners, to be insect friendly in terms of their backyard?
Well, one thing I wasn't aware of, but I am now, is the fact that we've got bees and insects that live in the dead stalks. They overwinter in the dead stalks of like your taller perennials. And so leaving the stalks overwinter not only creates a seed source for birds and a visual source of interest in the winter, but it is a home for overwintering insects. So if you absolutely have to start trimming in your garden in the spring, well, then leave the stalk about 1 foot to 1.5 foot, because whoever's in there is down at the bottom. So you can still allow the insect to finish its wintering process, but you are starting to move forward with your garden cleanup.
Very interesting indeed. And in terms of planting native species, I saw a note here. I kind of looked at that. Again, trying to do the right things. What does that mean, and what good comes out of that? It says plant native species and wildlife will come.
Yeah. So native species, what is native to our area is what's really important to plant. Native pollinator plants are perennials, so it makes it easy too, because then they come back every year. But it's important to plant native so that the insects and the other kinds of native bees and other important pollinators to our area have that food source. However, it's really important to check with your local nurseries, because there are different neonicotinoids, they're called, chemicals that are put in plants that are sold oftentimes at maybe larger types of stores and things like that they're meant to help the plant withstand a lot, but those kill the pollinators. Those are toxic to the pollinators. So it's really important. One other thing I just want to add in there, although it's spring and not fall, as much as we can leave our leaves in the yard, they're good, because if we think even of fireflies, from the time I was a child, we used to see many, many more, and we don't see them now. That's because they overwinter in leaf litter. So the more we can leave those things even in the perimeters of our yards, the better.
We have to take a real quick break, but there's one other point that I know that you touched on when it comes to pesticides. So we're going to come back, talk about that before we wrap up our conversation. But we have a hard break here. We'll be back in 2 minutes. The time is 9:49. Back with more here on 98.9 WXCO.
Make what life's about, yeah. Every kind of people.
You're listening to Civic Media. Find the latest news, information, and archives of all your favorite shows on the Civic Media website, civicmedia.us.
And welcome back. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM. Mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. Still a little bit to talk about here with Gene Abreu and Carol Lukens from the City of Wausau Sustainability, Energy, and the Environment Committee. And Carol, you mentioned early on about pesticides and herbicides. And obviously that is something that, I think a lot of folks have heard about that. What should we know now as we get to spring in terms of treating the lawns and the gardens with these chemicals?
Thank you. Yeah, that's so important, because one of the big factors as well in this decline of species is because of that. So adding chemicals to your lawn has many harmful consequences. We've become, I think it's become kind of normalized, or it's growing that, we use a spray to get rid of anything that's pesky. But the thing is, even mosquitoes, the other species eat those. So the birds and frogs and bats depend on that. So instead of thinking of getting rid of everything, the natural cycle, nature, will take care of it if we do less of that. So please, please, please avoid treating your lawns and gardens with herbicides and pesticides unless absolutely necessary, because it really ends up harming all of us.
Absolutely.
Well, and if I could just add, by eliminating, if you use a pesticide, you eliminate the bug you don't want, but you also eliminate all of the good bugs and the predators who would eventually take care of that pest to begin with. So there's lots of natural predator-prey stuff going on with insects.
And before we wrap it up and add anything else that we want to make sure we mention before we finish up, something we were just talking about in the break is, again, the information that this provides. I think a lot of folks are more than happy to be able to help in these ways, because they're rather straightforward, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
How do people learn more? I guess it would be my question, my layman's question here before we wrap it up.
The first thing I would say is go to your local nursery and ask for some of their native species and plant some. And when you see your first butterfly or your first moth, it will send you down the path of wanting to do more.
And also, we have been putting something in each of the city newsletters now from the Sustainability Committee. You could look at the Sustainability, Energy, and the Environment Committee website through the city. We do have different resources there. And then there are a number, Monarch Joint Venture, Xerces, Society, XERCES, Doug Tellamy. There are lots of really good organizations working on this. Did you want to throw in your last statistic about the caterpillars?
Oh, well, it's just that we all love chickadees and birds, and our birds feed their babies caterpillars because, mamas just shove the caterpillar down the throat of the baby. And so, like with one family of chickadees, they need to feed their babies 6,000 to 9,000 caterpillars in the course of raising one little bird family. And the caterpillars need their host plants to be able to grow. So it's an important food source.
Absolutely. There's so much more that I'm sure we can talk about in a future visit because, I learned a lot myself. I really, and it was something you were saying as well. A lot of folks just don't know this basic information that can go such a long way in changing some of those numbers that you started off with.
Yes.
Again, the 40 to 75% decline in some of these insect populations are just, it's very, very concerning. But again, Gene Abreu, Carol Lukens, thank you very much. We'll look forward to another visit with the committee next month, but thank you for coming in.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Absolutely. Before we wrap it up, Ian, I know that you are always waiting because this is your spotlight moment here because we always wrap up the show with our number for the day and our number for the day quiz where we give Ian an opportunity to get the right answer. 3 choices. 1 is correct. 2 are incorrect based on the math. You should get 1 out of 3 right, 33%. And every week, if you're above 33%, we give you a passing grade. If you're below 33%, it's a failing grade. We want a winning week, though.
Yes,
more right
absolutely.
than wrong. 3 out of 5. And, of course, your best week ever is 4 out of 5. And still looking for that perfect week. And what is our topic?
It was road maintenance.
Road maintenance. All right. Our number for the day today, Ian, as we get towards road construction season here in Wisconsin.
Okay.
The number of dollars spent on road maintenance each year in the United States.
Oh, boy.
So the dollars spent on road maintenance each year in the United States.
Okay, what are my choices?
The choices are $10 billion, $50 billion, $100 billion. So those are your 3 choices. $10 billion, $50 billion, $100 billion. How much money is spent on road maintenance each year in the United States? You're 0 for 1 so far this week, so we don't want you to be 0 for 2. Then you'll be heading uphill here for the rest of the week.
Well, it is a lot of money, but I'm just going to go with my instincts here. I'm going to say a $10 billion. I'm going with A as my final answer.
Okay, $10 billion is your final answer. Well,
Not going to overthink it. Just locking it in.
the dollars spent on road maintenance each year in the U.S., you should have overthink it.
Oh,
'Cause it's
man.
$100 billion.
You got to be kidding me.
I thought you would get that one. I thought you'd go with the big number because we see so much just here, let alone in the United States of America.
I didn't think it cost that much.
Well, you learned something new here. So,
yeah, at least it weren't.
well, now you got work to do. Yeah, get on the winning track tomorrow, right?
I do.
All right. Well, we'll be back tomorrow morning, 8 till 10. Bob Look will be with us in the first hour. Meteorologist Brittany Merlot as well. Sean Wright from the Grand Theater in hour number 2. And we'll see if Ian can get the number for the day right to wrap it up.
Yep.
Stick around. Matt and Air on Air coming up next here on 98.9 WXCO.
The national news cycle never stops, but but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.